You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
I know you do. I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. I'm your pusher.
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place, you should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in a chain. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansboro. It is January 11th, right? Yes, January 11th, 2023. I hope everybody's having a great start to their year so far. We have a great guest on the show tonight. Before I introduce him, I want to let you all know you can still get all of my books are available on Amazon. Unusual Favor 1, Spitfire Poetry Volume 1 and 2, and look out for Unusual Favor 2 in just a few short weeks. All right. The guest that we have on today, man, he wears many hats, man. I met this gentleman, this brother, when I did a I had a poetical experience with shout out to Four Authors, and I met DJ Clutch there, man. I want to introduce you all to DJ Clutch. What's going on, Clutch? How you doing, man?
No, family, what's going on, family, man? We making it one day at a time, brother.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. Same here, one day at a time. How you been, man?
Man, life has been lifing, as they would say. Making left turn, right turns, just trying to go straight ahead forward, man.
Absolutely. Look, man, tell the people who you are and what you do really fast, because you wear a lot of different hats.
Again, the name is Will, by law, by family. What's up, Vaughn? My guys.
My man, Vaughn, what's up, buddy?
Everybody knows me as Clutch. DJ Clutch. I've been DJing for God knows how many years now. I'm a photographer for Clutch Photography. Main job in the daytime is a chiropractor, and the Clutch Chiropractor and massage therapy. Working on catering as one of the next branches to the business. I've been a chef for some years. I can color. I know I know where all my socks are, a couple superpowers here and there. Music producer, stage producer, whatever God puts me in, man, I just do my best to make the best of it. That's all I care to do, man.
Absolutely. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I normally have poetry on here all the time, And it depends on how I feel late. I may do a poem or two before we get off here. But
Yeah.
it's good that I had you on, Clutch. You always been a positive brother, man, ever since I met you. And it's funny because today I wasn't. I don't even. I was this close to not even doing the show today. I almost told the producer, Lady J, shout out to Lady J, Butterfly Entertainment. You guys go to Lady J Media at Gmail at ladyjmedia.com. So you can find out all the ways to watch all of our shows. And go to the YouTube page and like our What Up Baltimore TV YouTube page as well. But I don't know. I was just feeling a certain way today, man. I was just going to relax and not do anything at all, honestly. You know what I mean? Just get my daughters from
Wait.
school. I was going to come back home and relax. And I was scrolling through my phone and saw your text because I was supposed to hook up with you, I think, in the last month, actually, or month before last, in November. And I seen a
Yeah,
text
I
that
think.
you sent. And I said, damn, you know what? Let me hit my man up. And I'm glad I did, man, because you always been a positive dude, man. And I want to say too, I'll vouch for this guy on his chiropractic needs. I mean, his chiropractic specialties, because the dude gave me an alignment when we the last show that we did. Seriously, man, and my back, I never, like, it was crazy because I have an issue with like trust. So it's like when he was getting me
Yeah,
prepared for it, I kind of wanted to tense up. But man, he definitely got some skills with that. So y'all need to follow this brother because he's got a lot of different things that he does. But one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, though, Clutch, man, things that go on in our community. Neither one of us are no activists or nothing like that, but it gets to the point. I don't know about you, but I get so immersed and so sick of seeing some of the same things going on and on, especially with the shooting of these children all the time. It's really just
yeah, yeah.
um what how can we combat what's going on today? Like back in the day, I don't know about you, I'm 47. So when I was coming up, we had like the PAL Athletic League. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It was a
Yeah.
police
Well,
athletic league that, yeah, stuff like that we had, you know what I mean? They dismantled it all, That's what I think is the start of all of what's going on now, taking everything out of the communities and the rec centers and stuff. But you know what I mean? How can we combat this stuff or what's going on today? What do you think?
um, that I mean, such a loaded situation and question, and
Right.
community is always community first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your community is as strong as the people in it, and unfortunately, we are no longer in like the big mama days. True grandmothers. Some grandmas now are 40. You
Right.
know,
Right.
I was 6, as far as I knew. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we are in a place where we have to get back to being teachable. Um, we have to get back into a place where um, both generations, because the disconnect now is the communication. That used to be a superpower of ours, and we're at a space and place now where one doesn't want to hear the other, and then the other doesn't know how to talk to the, what I'm saying, the other. We've lost the connection with, the art of conversation. Um, in order for me to reach someone, I truly have to be an open book.
Right.
But I also have to accept the fact that there will be judgment and criticism and everything else that comes with being a complete open book.
Right.
And people they're so critical of themselves that they don't know how to just completely open up, which is where we reconnect the line of communication. When you and I were talking, we were immediately able to talk like we were brothers because we stepped forward as a complete open book. This is me. This is who I am, and this is what I have to offer. If this works for you, then let's go. If not, let me know what works first so we can build that, and then we can work on what does not work. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we grow, and that's how we're open to each other's constructive criticism, our suggestions, ideas. It just makes the whole process approachable. And I feel like that's where we are lacking right now, bro, is being approachable.
Definitely not. That's funny you say that, approachable, because I feel like we got some. I was watching something. I think it was one of Lady J's lives that she was doing. But I feel like too. I think she was talking about how we got like in our city. I feel like we all got like PTSD. Like I really feel like it's you know what I mean? It's like we so immune and so familiar with the norm that goes on. That's the norm, but it shouldn't be the norm, if that makes any sense. That, you know, with everything that goes on, we like, oh, it's just another day, but it's not normal though. You know what I mean? So the approachable part is interesting because 9 times out of 10, well, I'm not going to say that. Maybe 70% of the time, I work at an establishment part time. I'm not even going to say where. That's neither here nor there. But I deal with public a lot, and 70% of the time, I'll have a person that comes up to me that's in a good mood. They may have a nice joke or something like that. But some of the other times, it's like straight attitude at first. You know, and it boggles my mind because I'm like, I don't even know you. We've never met each other. This is our first transaction, and the first thing you like is just a confrontational like introduction, just off the jump. You know what I mean?
Dude,
and I know people. We all deal with different stuff, you know. So I give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's like, you know, and then it leaks down to the children. Even the children are smart asses. Like, it's incredible to me.
Again, but look at the difference in the ages, you know, going through the generations. You know what I'm saying? There were so many different codes back in the day, and I mean, you know, 80s, you know, late 70s, going into the 80s. There was codes, man. You know, there were just different ways that we carried ourselves when it came to, you know, just, I mean, verbally interacting with one another. I'm from the South. The South is more known to have more manners than, you know, majority of the other regions of the, you know, of the nation and everything. But like when I came back up here, dude, I was in Atlanta before I moved back up to Baltimore. And I remember my first day back where I'm from, man, if we walking past each other and we lock eyes on each other, there's just a simple greeting. Hey, what's up, fam? And we just keep going. And the other person would just, yo, what's good, fam? Keep it going. Like there's nothing else to it. It's just a polite, I locked eyes, I acknowledge you, you acknowledge me, we keep it moving. Now it's like if you lock eyes, man, there's a good chance he's putting his hand on his way. He's going in the bag now.
Right.
What am I supposed to do with that? There's nothing approachable about this whole situation at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? To bring it full circle, that is just a unfortunate thing because I feel like it's a front a lot of the time because you don't want to be seen as such a loving person and character when you people that sees you know they need to see something harder. You know, you got to be a little tough.
Yeah, you can't be soft, right? Yeah,
right. You said it's allowed. You know what I'm saying? If you show signs of weakness, it's like you know, you're in a pool of piranhas. The moment they get just a hit of blood, they coming. But who said I was leaking in the first place?
Right.
You know, so it comes back to we have to accept who we are. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm an open book. You know this. I was me. Every day we were in person with each other, whether it's at Nesky's, whether it's at the clubhouse, whether it was at La Familia, I
Right.
was the same person
Mm-hmm.
every single time. If I thought I saw you going through something physically, I immediately was like, "Hey, man, how you feeling? What's going on? Are you all right?" And then we moved on towards the chiropractic. But as I approached you in such an open manner, you were you were able to accept what I was saying in my offers, and that created the first line of trust that moved into me being able to adjust you.
Right. That's crazy, but
It
you're
wasn't
absolutely
just
right. Yeah.
go back.
Right.
It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Right.
that way. And that's how people look at it, like as if you know, this is how they see you when you're talking
Right.
to them. When you're really
Right.
just like, hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If we can get back to that, we can find that balance. We can find that formula. You know, there's a little tweaking that needs to be done, but we can get back to just finding that original formula. I mean, you be the blessing you want to receive, and be the blessing that you would want to see someone else receive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get.
What started your love for art and music and everything that you do, Clutch? Like what? Because, like I said, you do so many different things. Like, what, as a child, man, were you like the type of kid that, my brother used to take shit apart and just put it back together when we was little. Like crazy electronic stuff too. You know what I mean? Crazy stuff like the TVs back, back in the day when we had the backs on them and all that.
Yeah,
He would just do shit like that.
yep.
Like what, what was it about you that made you so into what you're doing today as an adult?
I was born into music first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and my at Edward Waters College back in the day, and my dad has been a musician forever, and my mom has always been in the choir or running the choir. Um, and so my mom and dad both come from church and everything. So I was legit born into music. That was just going to be one thing in my DNA structure. That it was just
Right,
that's in my makeup for music.
right, right,
Um, so I accepted it. I loved it. My father, lover of old school music, funk, and all that stuff, man. My oldest brother and I, Mike, shout out to DZ, shout out to all my brothers. Um, Mike and I, we had the love of old school music more than anything. Gap Band, Earth, Wind, and Fire, any group of the sort, me and
right,
my brother was on it. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, while we had that as our favorite because that's more a part of our culture, I was more open to the other genres as well. And being a Southern, as we would say in Georgia, DSGB down south, Georgia boy,
Right,
we had old school artists. We was always on the Project Pats and 3-6 Mafia, Pastor Troy, a bunch of Southern artists. Um, and then my mom was a church girl. My mom was a church lady. She was, what felt like minister of music over like 3 or 4 churches at the same time. So when we lived with our dad, it was old school music. When we lived with my mom, it was church music. My mom would only allow us to sing like Boys to Men. That was like the only guys outside of church that she put
right,
us, you know,
right.
part of. And what I did learn was I didn't learn it until I was older, but I realized when I became older, how many times music truly saved my life and played into being a healing mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have our devices. Some is comedy, some is shutting down, whatever the case may be. We all have that. Music is always been there for me, which is why I became a DJ to
Mm-hmm.
start with. But I learned later, found out or figured out that my purpose was healing. Anything that in the end helps you heal in some kind of way, I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Right,
So I've done stand-up comedy, the photography, is a way for you to see yourself the way you feel internally, and or the way your peers see you. Sometimes you see yourself as such a, you know, off-putting, shy, whatever, but the people that know you, they know just how energetic you are and everything. So I've had clients like, look, I need you to put my brother in this shoot, man. We're going to set his clothes up and everything. We want him to, we want him to see himself the way we see. And it's a form of healing, man. It's
right.
The music production, learning to come up with so many different genres and takes and touches on music and sound waves that are just, the moment you hear certain things, your attitude shifts immediately. I can be pissed off, ready to fight. But if I hear Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, I can't quit. Like, I'm going to dance. Like I've been on the brink of tears, dude. And I hear Poison. Oh yeah, you're gonna get high knees. You're gonna get this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even down to customer service. I've been, a manager at Walmart. I've done all kinds of stuff, food and beverage. It's all customer service. It's all about listening, paying attention, absorbing, learning how to digest it, and then returning the proper energy and or infectious energy back to said, person that, might not be feeling their strongest today, or might not be feeling their more beautiful or more handsome, whatever, saying the confidence that they normally have. We're not always going to have those kind of days, but healing, these things have always been my deal. The moment I learned your name, I didn't forget your name. I know your face. I could not be able to speak, but if I see you, I'll be able to find you, and you'll know me when you see me again, because that's the way it should be, in the most positive sense, of the statement. Anytime I see you, anytime I see any of the I Am Woke family, it's always love. There's no bad blood, because we were open with each other. We were
That's
able
true
to
from
tell
day
each other,
one. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And I came in late, you know what I'm saying? And you guys were still open enough to allow me to walk in and be seen and then accept me. So that means the moment y'all did that, anything you said to me, idea, suggestion, whatever, I was always like, yeah, that works. Or this might not work for this reason or the third, but it was never like, nah, that's trash, bro. There was never that, nor was it the other way around. As far as, any other thing, art forms, I used to do tattoos, man. I've done caricatures, airbrushing. I don't know,
You
man.
don't write? Do you write too? You don't write, do you?
I
You did.
used to, man. I used to some years ago. Shout out to my whole D-Moore poetry family. I know some incredible people, man. It's almost a flex, brother. It's Dr. Rebecca Dupas, Easy Jackson, shout out to Epic Fam, Axiom, which is Rasan, Word Slave, and Jamal Black. We call him Black Root, Jamal Collier, Black Root. I mean,
I've
love the
met
poet.
him. I think I've met Black Root. I know I've met Easy before, but I think I've met Black Root. Tall guy, right?
Locks, dark skin.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Incredible human beings, dude. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Nick the poet, everybody that I'm coming to, if I don't say your name, just know that I love y'all. It charged in my head, not my heart. But I mean, all of these individuals and these people have helped mold, my personality as well. I've always had the big energy. Everybody will know this. I was shy, and then I broke out of it. When I broke out, this is who I've been since. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Realize me being more open has helped me in my relationships with friends, family, all of the above, man. And I was born for it. I God knew what He was doing when He made me. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What are you doing? What have you done? Are you doing any events or anything lately, or anything coming up?
um, Man, I've been more busy doing, my own separate stuff, man. Freelancing more than anything.
Right.
I am currently working as music supervisor for the Wiz. Everybody knows Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Nipsey, Russell, and all those original cast members. But we're doing the Wiz again here in Baltimore, and I'm one of the music supervisor. Well, I am the music supervisor, which is incredible, an incredible honor. Um,
They got
I
the right guy for the job. I know that already. So yeah.
appreciate it. It's a team effort. So, shout out to my mentor, Mario Santilli. He lives in Dallas, Texas, but he's right here from Baltimore. One of the most incredible producers I've ever come across. My brother, Mario Turner, who lives right here in Baltimore. Um, I mean, these cats are just the reason why I can't stop producing, man, because I just want to get to the level that they are right now. I know by the time I get there, they would have moved up too, but it always gives me a reason to keep me fired up to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um,
Do you
do
believe?
I just huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To give shout out to my homeboy KTR, Kevin T. Robinson, and Austin Troyer. They have what they call the Speaker Focus showcase, and I just had the second one. I just did photography and DJ for their Speaker Focus showcase in DC at the DoubleTree in Arlington. Technically, um, it's it's one of the most incredible experiences, and I got a front row free ticket to watch a lot of speakers tell their stories, motivate, inspire, talk about their businesses and brands. An executive from LinkedIn was there, and I mean, like one of the bosses,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. Like, expect to casually come across someone like that. One of the guys, he owns a cyber company, a cyber security company, and like it's so many different aspects of all of their jobs or their companies, because they're all entrepreneurs and business owners that all kind of intertwine and just perfectly meshes into everyone's lives. Every single person spoke, and I grabbed a chunk from every single person, their jobs and who they are and their stories. It was all relative and relatable, approachable. Like it was all that and more. And I couldn't have been more excited and more grateful to have been a part of that. And I just Sunday, I was doing some photography. Shout out to my brother DJ Shazan, one of the official DJs for the Washington Commanders. We had the chance to party hard um, for the last game of the season, and another unforgettable memory, man. I've been booked, busy and blessed, man.
How hard is it? Do you think? Because for some people, man, that want to aspire to have goals or do their own thing or own business or whatever. Um, One of the most important things I believe is your surroundings, the people that surround you when you're um, making this effort to achieve these goals that you're trying to get to. Because something as simple as a family member, a friend, somebody could say something that would totally discourage you if you're not mentally strong enough to know that those things are going to come and that you have to withstand it and just keep pushing through. But a lot of times you don't want to share too much information with people because they may, it's so many different reasons of why
Yeah.
it's hard. But how do you, because it was hard for me to a point to keep myself surrounded by what I thought were, what I believe are the right people to have around me without having explanation to others of like, man, you don't need to come around no more. What's up? Or you don't, I ain't heard from you, this, that, and the other. You don't hang out with me. But when you focus on something that you want to get to, like how hard is it to keep those barriers away so you can stay focused on what you're doing?
First and foremost, Um, in order for you to be able to bounce back from any failures or hurdles or in the road or walls, first and foremost, man, you have to be your number one fan. You have to be your own number one fan, right?
Right.
No one can motivate you. No one can stop you. No one can slow you down. No one can give you better momentum than yourself. And if you set out to start your own, best believe you're on your own.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can never do this without a team, but that team comes along the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You rely, you got to be self-reliant. You got to be able to do it yourself sometime. As far as the people around you, um, everyone in my personal circle, there is no jealousy. There is
Right.
no competition.
Right.
There's none of that shit. There's none of that crap.
Right.
There's none of that
Right.
activity in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Live for each other, period. If one celebrates, we all celebrate. If one mourns, we all mourn. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. My circle is unbreakable. And even if we disagree, we're able to talk to one another, not at each other, but to one another. Well, we can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Um, you're going to have naysayers. If you don't have any naysayers, you ain't doing something right.
Right.
Hater, I don't know what to tell you, bro, because I think I'm a pretty
True.
good guy. And I know a couple folk that just don't like me. Hey, man,
Right.
your reason, your reason. Cool,
Right.
go for it. Go about your business.
Right.
Um, but these people I can call, and I know that I don't have to be anyone but myself with. You know what I'm saying? I just can't reiterate that enough. And on top of that, we're all doing our own thing. A lot of us are doing completely different things from one another,
Mm-hmm.
which gives us all something to talk about. There's always another perspective. It's just more eyes and ears and hearts to help digest everything from each other and with each other. I'm super blessed that I don't have to deal with the hating on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, outside of your personal circle, you need to always put yourself in an arena of like-minded individuals. As music artists, um, as I've worked with a lot of music artists, like their music is only their music isn't rap. It's an eclectic group of different sounds. But they'll be trying to, get their name out in nothing but hip hop arenas. And it's not your lane, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself in a place where you are appreciating your work and efforts are appreciated. So you find those places that are different. You find those people in those arenas that are different. And you go forth. This is one of the things that help you build yourself along the process, how you become stronger. So when you do decide to step out and into something different and into a different environment and arena, it's not as hard um, to get into and to expand and to grow outside of your norm. Um, I mean, you when you started writing, were you trying to sell your books to? I mean, a bunch of homeless people? No
No.
offense. Or were
Right.
you
No.
in a space where there were other writers? Were you trying to sell a book to athletes? Or did you
Right.
start where you knew there were writers
Mm-hmm.
and authors and folk who actually like to read?
Right.
Poets, spoken word
Right.
events.
Right.
Once you were able to get into that audience and crowd in that arena of people, you learned how to talk and how to sell and how to be approachable. And these things is where you were able now to go into a different arena, like a sports event, and you were able to say, "Hey, man, I'm writing a book, or I just published my first book, or third, fourth, fifth book." You got a library of them, so you learned how to do these things so you could step out. And when you didn't feel as strong, you had somebody in your circle, those individuals that could go with you, back you up, make sure you stay motivated, make sure you still went over there and talked to that person you were scared to talk to before, or what. You know what I'm saying? That whole team effort situation. That's the only way I think anyone could ever make it. And learn how to take in all the extra bullshit that comes from the haters and the naysayers. When you're not feeling your best in a day, look at your circle.
That's true. I feel, I remember a time where I really immersed myself into this poetry thing, like 2018, 2019. From 2012 to 2017, I went through some things in my life and my marriage and everything that was haywire. So that broke me into being able to create, which is now a product, but which at the time was shit that I was dealing with. And the way I was dealing with it was being able to write about it. So as I started to go around to open mics and things like that, the love and the feel, I cannot explain the feel in a room when you're doing poetry around a bunch of like-minded people, other than like when we did the play. You know what I mean? When I do that poetical experience before authors and the whole I Am Woke movement, or any other open mics that I may go to, I always go in one way and leave out feeling a different way, a better way. I feel like some shit
Absolutely.
is lifted. I'm not way down. I don't even have to spit. I could just listen to everybody else that's there. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And be motivated. How, like, how did you, like, other than your brother, and what other things did you surround yourself with to keep you on this path that you on? Did you watch a lot of like your favorite, did you have favorite movies? I used to love I don't know if you remember stuff like Crush Groove and Beach Street. You know.
Beach Street. Beach is one of my favorites. I used to be a b-boy, so
Right,
yeah, all that stuff. My man Remote, all
right,
them
right,
cats.
right, right, right,
Of
right.
course. Uh, Me being the fun, goofy person, Coming to America is like my favorite movie of all time.
One of mine too,
Followed,
definitely. Hell yeah.
followed by Harlem Nights.
Right.
Um, it's always anytime I watch these movies, man, like it's a pick me up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know how many times I've used punchlines from these movies
Mm-hmm.
every day, like to this day, brother. Like I use these lines all the time. It doesn't matter. Um, man, I've always I guess just I've always uh I've always tried to surround myself with people who just, I mean, challenge me to be great.
Right. I feel you.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
that's been the main goal. Always put yourself in the space and vicinity of someone that will simply challenge you to
Mm-hmm.
just be. I've learned so many lessons from movies. One of my favorite movies is Evan Almighty. Uh, Jim Carrey did Bruce
Jim
Almighty.
Carrey?
And
Yeah.
yeah, so Jim Carrey did Bruce Almighty, and then Steve Carell did Evan Almighty.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the scenes in there, not to get too religious with folks who are, don't believe necessarily in that, but for me, I was raised in the church. So
Mm-hmm.
in one of those scenes, Freeman, who played God, was in a restaurant with Evan's wife, who was going through it at that moment. I mean, she was going through the trenches. Her husband was crazy to the world. Her kids were, wild, and she just felt by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And he popped up, told him what was going on, and he asked her simple questions like, Do you think God is a God that just gives you what you ask for, or gives you the opportunity to gain those things? If you want courage, do you think God just gives you courage, or does he give you the opportunity to be courageous?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does he give you that, or does he give you the opportunity? And I feel like every day is a God-given opportunity to be better than yesterday. That's the only goal. It's to be better than yesterday. Nobody said perfect, but better than.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, Shout out to my brother Taywan Prelo, or Phrygian. He and his brothers, on Mondays, and I don't know, it used to be in the mornings, but they would have a group call, a group chat, and they talk about the week, and then they all set three positive goals for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And he allowed me to get in on that, and so I started passing along to a couple of my friends and family, and it's one of those things that's, it's always, motivating them to be better. So, like, one week my goal was to feed a homeless person, to offer up a free photo shoot, excuse me, and to make somebody laugh. I did all of that with one person.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I walked up to him. He was hungry. I said, "Hey man, I don't have no cash, but you can come in this restaurant with me, and I can, we can eat." And he was like, "Yeah, sure."
Mm-hmm.
Got up, got stuff, put it under the bridge, and we went down the street to Hip Hop Chicken. And while we in there, we was talking and cracking up, made him laugh. And a friend of mine, he used to, a lot of times before he got sick, unfortunately, he used to give like free haircuts and stuff like that. And so I was like, "Hey, a friend of mine, he's a barber that gives free haircuts and stuff. Would you be interested?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, of course." He looking at himself. "Yes, I would love that." And so when he got his haircut, he felt like such a new person. He felt like his old self. And I was like, "Well, I'm a photographer. Um, if you'd be willing, we can go to Goodwill or Savers or something like that, thrift store. We can buy you some threads. I can take you to Walmart." So we went to Walmart, bought him clothes, a little outfit or two, and we just took some photos outside in the middle, on the median in the middle of the street on Joppa Road, and like did a whole photo shoot out there. And I was able to show him his pictures, and I came back to see him again, once I edited them shots, and he was looking at himself like, "Oh my God, that is not me. That is not me right there."
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Just the photos alone, it inspired that man and motivated him to get off his ass.
Right.
And then just went to a construction site that he saw one of the buildings downtown getting built. I was like, "Hey man, I don't know how to do it, but if you teach me some of the basics, I'd be more than happy to work, and earn a couple bucks." And the people looked at him like, "What's the worst that can happen?" This man has a job.
Right.
He has an apartment now. He doesn't have a car or a house, but he has, a million times more. And I don't take credit for it at all. He's the one that got up. But all it takes is one person to just spark it.
Right. You gave him an
That's all it takes.
opportunity too, though. You know what I mean? You gave him that opportunity and that push. And what's crazy, you see, like people don't understand. I say this shit all the time, and I mean it. You want to be, if you want to be blessed, bless somebody else. And we in a time now where with social media and all this stuff, sometimes people do shit and they want to film it to make themselves look a certain way for whatever agenda they're trying to get to. You know what I mean? But it's something as simple as just what you just did right there. Like that goes so far. You change this person's whole thought process about themselves that fast. You know what I
I,
mean? Like
I,
it's simple little things like that.
I always say, man, and it's not, I'm a humble person. I'm a humble guy, but I don't change a damn thing. They make the change. I am just your family to me until you give me a reason not to believe that.
That's it, right.
That's it. And if you family to me, I'm gonna make sure I do something to help in whatever way I can. I've done that shit to into the. I dug myself into the ground helping some people out. It don't always work out, but it doesn't have to change who I am. You can't let the ignorance of others, and their circumstances change your character. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good person, be a good person.
Right.
You feel me? Shouldn't take so many things happening that you just become an asshole. Like if I'm a good person, bro, I'm gonna do my best. Not perfect by a long shot, but everybody who truly knows me knows where my heart is. Just give me a chance to show you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like I have to give you a chance to show. I
Right.
have to practice what I when it comes to these things, and I feel that again, like you were saying, niggas and niggas sometimes, no matter what race you are. you know, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
niggas and
lie, bro.
niggas, and you're gonna get the bad apple. You're gonna find that bad apple. you know.
Oh shit. Man, it's so good talking to
It's
you,
just
seeing you, bro. I'm telling you, man. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute, Clutch, man. Tell the people how they can follow you and keep up with you, man.
oh man, social media, IG. I have two pages, one for music and DJing, one for photographies. My photography page, clutch.ent.photos. And my music page, dj.clutch.ent. Once again, clutch.ent.photos and dj.clutch.ent. Those two are also my email addresses. So if you need to get in contact with me, they're the exact same thing. Just add at Gmail on the end. One thing I did want to talk to you about real quick before we get off. Later here, I'm in the process of starting what I call Project Rockstar.
Okay.
Project Rockstar is combining music production and photography. It's a platform of transparency, show breaking, all of those things. I just need you to see yourself the way I see you, and that's a rock star. You truly are a rock star in my eyes. And so we're going to be interviewing artists, locals, creatives, business owners, anyone alike that suffer from emotional disorders.
Mm.
Um, and we're going to allow you to tell your story. So you're going to be professionally
Dang.
filmed, interview. You're going to get a photo shoot based off how you see yourself, or the way your peers see you in a more positive light. Um, and then we're going to have my production team create a personalized soundtrack for you. So when you get your product back, it'll be like a topic, I'm going to be creating like a docu-series. And so, like at the beginning of your videos, you'll have the intro music, and then you'll have that track that plays under the video. That'll be
Right.
your track playing, and you'll be able to talk about who you are, why you are, how you are, when you are, where you are. And this is for you to use as a reference on your weaker, on your not so handsome or your not so pretty days. You go back, you watch this biopic about you, you rebuild it, and then you go out into the world and you motivate the next, you inspire the next, you build the next. And so we're starting Project Rockstar this year, man. I gotta have you a part of that, man.
Man, hey, whatever you need, hit me up with that. Well, that is a genius idea. I love it. I love it, man. And I am not
Fire.
surprised. I'm not surprised in the time that I've known you that you are involved in something like that, because that's right up your alley. That's a great idea, man. I would love to be a part of that. Anything you need, definitely hit me up for that. Absolutely. Next week on the 18th, y'all, I'm going to be at City Escapes Bar and Grill. Bro, you got to come through if you can get out next Wednesday. I'm going to be with the fam. I'm gonna be with the fam. Shout out to the table, 4 authors, I Am Woke family, everybody over there. We're going to be at City Escapes Bar and Lounge, January 18th from 6 to midnight. At 6 p.m. starts the happy hour. From 7 to 8, I'll be doing a live podcast. My Spitfire podcast will be live from that location. And then from 8 to midnight is karaoke. And they also got some chefs in the house. We got Chef Keys in the house and Chef Drop. Chef Keys and Chef Drop. You can follow Chef Keys on Instagram at chef_keys, KEEYES 1019. And my man Chef Drop at Rooftop Drop. You want to follow them. And our author spotlight of the night, my sister Mozart. You remember Mozart, bro, from the play. Mozart has just released her book. Yes, her book Daydreams and Nightmares is out right now. Please follow Mozart at mozart.writing on Instagram and get her material. Absolutely wonderful lady. I love this little sister. She is so talented, and I just can't wait to see how far she goes, man, because she really has got a talent with her. You know, everybody in that whole production that I was with in that I Am Woke play is very talented, and it was a pleasure to be around them. It got my creative juices just going ever since I met all of them. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Clutch, I appreciate you, bro. Hopefully you can get out next week. If not, I got to stay in touch with you, man, so we can do more things. Stay safe out here, bro. I love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Alrighty. If you want to be blessed, people, you got to bless somebody else. All right? Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Clutch, I get with you, bro.
All right, fam. Peace.
All right. Later.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.